Hello friends, this is Scott, and this is in the fall of 2022, the year that we purchased the homestead. And here's how I started planting my raspberry bed. And again, it took several years to get this accomplished. Again, this is 2022, and all I had was, just a bare minimum start with throwing down some sticks from that I had laying around from an old elm tree they cut down the front yard. So I do a little bit of a hugelkultur concept. And then all the grass clippings from my mowings, and with a lot of weeds also, I just layered them on top of the sticks. So that was the base layer. I didn't have any cardboard at that time to start with, so I just went ahead and did hugelkultur and grass clippings. And that's how we started, and I just layered the grass clippings on. So I wanted to have a lot of organic matter on the bottom of this bed. But I didn't, again, it was the end of the year. I had lots of other projects going on, just trying to clean up this place. So I didn't get much accomplished. Overall, I did get a little bit of wood chip down from my Salt Lake residence that I had purchased, or I actually got from a tree service job right across the street. And so that's about as far as I got. Next spring, it was time to start screening soil from the big pile of dirt. And you see there's lots of rocks, so we had a lot of screening. But that was the first load. And it looks like pretty good stuff, though, once you get that all those rocks screened out. Again, it dries out, turns gray real quick, but not bad looking stuff. But yeah, that's I need a lot of it, though. But I just kept screening and kept wheelbarrowing over. And I don't know how many, there was probably 15 or so here. I don't know. And got it piled up pretty good. And in May of 2023, it was time to start thinking about transplanting some raspberry plants from my Salt Lake City residence. Had a lot of suckers that have just grown up under my fruit trees in various places in the yard. Raspberries tend to spread really quickly, so yeah, I had plenty of plants. So I figured, why not go on the cheap and go ahead and just dig them up and take them down to the homestead and hopefully have a good survival rate. But there's a look at one of the seedlings that I just went ahead and collected. I probably collected about 50, I think, and put them in 2 barrels. But there's a look at some pretty good root structure and a pretty good sized plant. And you're not going to be able to have a plant with that much top growth survive, so you got to prune it down. So I had a couple barrels, again, probably 50 plants or so. And we were going to take them down and get started on our new raspberry bed. Got them down here along with some screened compost, or I think that's chicken yard compost actually that I had with me. And we're going to use some of that, a scoop per plant, and to get them in the ground. So I did lay the plants out so to get some spacing, but then I just took a shovel and I was able to just give each area 1 scoop. And then I just got in and just mixed the soil with my hand and planted the raspberries just to get them started with a little bit of fertility. Again, this is all the only fertility here is some, sticks, grass clippings, and screened soil from the big pile of dirt. So here's some good compost. But had a little bit extra, so I was able to layer a little bit more on top. So yeah, it looked pretty good. And again, I'm expecting all those leaves to die off because plants are not going to be able to support any top life while they're trying to root. So yeah, looked pretty good and pretty full. And glad I had enough of the chicken compost to get her done for what we were going to do here for today's project. As expected, a few weeks later, you see there's no green leaves on any of these sticks. So I'm hoping that we're going to have some good survival rate, but we won't know until the following spring. And so it doesn't look the most impressive. But I did layer it heavily and mulch it heavily with leaves. And so fingers crossed that things are going to go well through that first winter of 2023. So in spring of 2024, that's how it looked as we come out of winter. The leaves had broken down quite a bit, but it's going to take a while for the raspberries to start showing any signs of life. But it doesn't look too impressive. But again, it's early. And so I took the time before they started to come up just to mulch the outside of the fence from the city property so that try to keep some of the weeds from infiltrating from that side of the yard. But here you go. As we started getting into April, May, we started seeing signs of life. And so you can see there's still bare spots here. There's not a full survival rate, but I think we had a pretty good survival rate. We probably had 65, 70%. So anything that was dead, I went ahead and dug up some more of the seedlings from my Salt Lake yard, brought them down here and just filled the bed up. Just anywhere there was a dead plant. And there's some I dug up that were not. If I would have just been more patient, they wouldn't have been dead. They would have lived. But anyway, I got one load of really cheap wood chip. It's more of a playground wood chip and just wanted to mulch them in so I can keep them moist. And they started to grow. And as you see, as the plants are getting bigger and bigger, and you see that most of them lived. So yeah, I'm not expecting much of a crop, if anything, this year, but yeah, we've got a pretty good survival rate. And I'm excited to just keep moving this bed forward and hoping for next year. But this is right before Lamb Days in July. It's a city festival, and the plants have grown pretty tall, so they're doing well. And I did lots of weeding. I mean, I must have weeded this bed, 3, 4, 5 times throughout the year just to try to keep the bindweed and everything out. But right before Lamb Days, I purchased a load of dark bark to make it look nice and pretty for Lamb Days. And yeah, that bark, you can really tell that the plants are doing well. And at the end of the year, right before winter, that's how it looked. That's how much growth we had from the plants. Now, you don't prune raspberries until they go dormant. So again, this is right before the first snow. And I won't prune these until I have a break in the spring before they start growing again. So yeah, they grew pretty well for that first year, but they still got lots of room to spread out. So here we go, and this was February of 2025, and yeah, we had lots of sticks showing, and this is again the dormant period. Doesn't look too impressive in this stage, but yeah, that's the time though before they start greening up and start sprouting again. You want to prune them down because they grow kind of from the base of the plant. So you cut all that dead wood off and just cut it down, within 4 to 6 inches of the ground, or some people cut them right directly to the ground. I like to leave them up so I know kind of where they're at. So just did a little spade pruning here. And again, I think this was February 3rd. So we had a beautiful, beautiful early spring. And it's the same time I planted the peas that didn't survive. So anyway, yeah, once in a while you get a nice day, but yeah, once you get them pruned down, there's not a lot to look at. So yeah, I'm still fingers crossed. Don't know. This is the second year these plants are, having a spring. And yeah, we're going to see what they did. And again, May of this year, there we go. We have so many weeds, though. I can't tell the raspberry plants from the weeds because, again, we cut the raspberries down and they're all the same height. So for the purpose of this video, even though it's probably futile to do much weeding, I got in here and with help of the cat, Willow, who hung out with me, and we got in here and we weeded this bed recently. And it needed it, as you see. But here we go. That's how you get a better look at the raspberries and how they're spreading. Again, I planted them individually, 6 to 8 inches apart or whatever, and they've, you see lots of suckers coming up. So they're spreading, and it's looking pretty good. So I'm pretty excited about it. And this year we hope we'll have some raspberries. And Willow wasn't much help, but she hung out with me. But yeah, we're looking. I think we're going to have a crop this year. And Salt Lake residents, I get quite a few raspberries, and these are obviously the same variety. But I'm hoping to get a lot more than this down here at the homestead. Well, thanks for watching this video, and I'll let you know how the crop comes once these plants get mature. Thanks for watching.